My name is Emily Morse, and I'm the host of the Sex with Emily radio show and podcast. I started this podcast in my living room 10 years ago, interviewing people about sex and relationships, because I really feel that, relationships are a challenge for a lot of people, and that I always thought that people always walk around saying, I just had the best sex of my life last night, or my relationship's suffering, and they always seem really tied together, and I thought, I'm not having the best sex of my life, and why would I want to get married? It started out as just a mission to really find the answers, and I figured we all learn from each other, and I just started interviewing people. And then I got my doctorate in human sexuality after doing like 2,000 episodes in the last 10 years. And it's really all about educating and entertaining people around sex and relationships. So sex is the cornerstone, I think, of our lives. And so many people don't pay attention to it and don't understand it and don't understand how their bodies work, and that sex can be expansive. And we have so much capacity for pleasure, and people just shut down at certain points and just this much of their sexuality they use. And there's so much more to learn and grow. So I help people reach that potential. How did I find my calling? It's funny because my whole life mission was about finding my calling. I always thought that I would have I always wanted to do something that was going to change the world. I was raised that never rely on anyone to take care of you. You always take care of yourself. And so therefore I interpreted that as a young girl, like, well, I'm always going to be working, and I better be doing something that I love and that changes the world. That's important. That's how it felt to me. And so I worked in politics for a while, and then I sort of came up with the idea for this podcast. And the first day that I was sitting there doing it, I thought, and I'd done several other, careers that kind of led me to that. I don't know if this is very articulate, but anyway, in that moment when I first did it, I thought, I had this feeling that must feel when someone finds the one. I thought, this is it. I knew that this is what I wanted to do. I knew that I wanted to help myself and help everyone else have better sex and relationships. And it was really just sort of just through trying it out and listening to every job or whatever situation I was in. I was always thinking about job as an easy way to say, what do I like about this environment and what don't I like? And so for each career, whatever I did, I would take from that. Well, before I did this, I was a documentary filmmaker, so I love the interview process. I didn't like it, and I just kind of take that, and you got to pay attention to what it is what you like doing and what you don't like, so it can kind of help inform you, because people think it's just going to hit you over the head, and it's not. It's about trial and error and trying different things, and I found it, and it's been amazing ever since. But it's been hard to, once you find it, you found it, then you have to figure out how to, make a living doing it and all that stuff. I don't have a lot of fear when it comes to taking risks, and I've always thought that was the most important thing, is finding out who I really am. I didn't want to waste time anywhere that where I wasn't growing and learning and being challenged. Communication. I always say communication is a lubrication. And the biggest problem that couples have with sex is that they don't ever talk about it, that it becomes taboo. And when sex becomes a problem in their relationship, it'll infiltrate the entire relationship. It'll take over everything. But when it's not a problem, everything's great. It's fine. It takes like 1%, like we're having great sex. But when it's a problem, they don't know how to face it. They don't know how to talk about it. So I teach couples how to communicate around it, how to expand, how to talk about their desires, their needs. And a lot of couples don't realize that they make excuses why they don't have sex. Well, we have kids, or we're busy, or we'll get around to it. But once your sex life fades and slips, then you become roommates. You think it's not important, you put it on the back burner. And so I just, I help couples prioritize it and keep it together, keep it growing. Yeah. My superpower is one of a sexual goddess. I would say the Buddha. Because for me, I think that meditation has been so transformative, and so the first time I ever studied Buddhism or did silent meditation retreats and all that stuff, that was what really changed my life. So I always find myself going back to the universal law of suffering, and that we all suffer in some way, which is what the Buddha said, and to make peace with that and just try to make your life, as positive as you can by changing your thoughts and your actions and slowing down your mind and learning to control your mind and not let your mind control you, which I think is the secret to happiness, or living a life the life that you want to live. Okay, well, I do meditate every day, and that it's taken me a long time, even after doing, sequestering myself for 10 days, silent retreats, 30 days, and people get, I don't have time. But I think one of the best rituals that you can do is, even if it's just a minute, is because at the end of my meditation, I do one in the morning, one night, as I do gratitude. I'm thankful for everything that I have. I just run through people in my life or whatever's happening for like a minute, and I'm always just really grateful for my life and the people that come into it, and for everyone, just for I don't know, because I think we forget a lot of times to be grateful and to, again, like our minds go towards, get so caught up in their daily lives, but you realize that we have a lot of great gifts and we're lucky to be alive. So it's my gratitude prayer, my gratitude moment every day.